known to lead all of the following except, lead to all the following except what? Diabetes. Does it impair vision? Does it impair circulation? Does it make you increase your resistance to infection so you don't get infections? Or does it increase the water loss by the urine? Yes, it increases resistance to infection because diabetics are a lot more likely to get an infection because of their high blood sugars. A saturated fat You're right, no, it doesn't. It's saturated. Yes, it's fully loaded with hydrogen. Saturated, loaded, whatever you want to say. Question 3. What happens to an excessive intake of protein? Again, excessive meaning above your caloric needs. It's eventually stored as fat, yes. Dietary starches are converted into this compound if the intake excess, if your intake exceeds the need. Yes, fats. Carbohydrates, proteins, fat, everything is converted to fat if it's over your energy needs. Oh, I got it again. What are enzymes? Were you listening?
Yes, my mom knows that.
Yes, it's proteins. That was question 5. Which of the following leading causes of death in the U.S. does not bear a relationship to diet? These are all 4 top leading causes of death. One of them has no relation to diet. Is that your final answer? Cancer does relate to diet. How, guys? Like high fiber diets will help with colon cancer, right? High antioxidant diets help. Pneumonia. Yep, that doesn't have anything to do with diet. Riboflavin is most easily destroyed by exposure to riboflavin is found in milk. Is that your final answer? This is question 7. So if you want to ask the audience or something, you got some lifelines. Audience, riboflavin is easily destroyed by heat. How many say heat? How many say acid? How many say alkali? How about ultraviolet light? Well, I'd say that was an overwhelming. Yeah, ultraviolet light. That's why milk is stored in, and any milk product stored in an opaque container, so light doesn't get to it. In the body, bile has what function? You got 2 more lifelines if you want to try ask an expert or take 2 away. Take 2 away. Okay, let's do that. Huh? Emulsifies fat. Yes, bile emulsifies fat. Question 9. Which one of those are the energy yielding nutrients? I certainly hope we remember this one. Because what does energy mean? Calories. So which one of those yields calories? Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Correct. And question 10. You got one lifeline left. To perhaps delay the risk of Alzheimer's disease, what are they thinking nowadays would help with that? Yes, follow a heart-healthy diet. That was not easy, but she did it. She's got 20 points. Mark? Okay, which of the following is not among the common long-term consequences of diabetes? Similar question to the other one.
A decrease in infections.
Decrease in infections, right. A polyunsaturated fat, again, similar. I gotta get it right here. Unsaturated. Kind of the opposite of the saturated one. You're right, it's not fully loaded, so that question is, it is fully loaded, so we know that's not right.
Is all solid and touch it?
Is that your final answer? What's poly?
More than one double bond.
Yes, it has more than one double bond. 2 or more. What is the chief feature that determines protein quality?
That's essential amino acid content.
Right. How many essential amino acids does it have? It has all of them? Great. It doesn't have all of them? It's not so great. The central nervous system and brain depend on what nutrient for fuel? Almost exclusively.
Protein.
Is that your final answer? Glucose, yeah, have to have glucose. That's why you don't want to go on a totally carbohydrate-free diet, because you got to have that carb for your brain. If not, you're going to break down some of it in your body. Hydrolysis is an example of coupled reaction, anabolic, catabolic, synthetic reaction. Remember, hydrolysis.
Can I do 50-50?
Yes, this is another one of those questions that you probably, what we've talked about before. Let's take away these two.
It's a catabolic.
It's a catabolic. Hydrolysis is breaking down and catabolic's breaking down. So remember the difference between catabolic, anabolic, and which of the following is not considered diet-related risk factor for cardiovascular disease?
Low vitamin intake.
Right. I mean, it's not, low vitamin intake's not good, but it isn't a risk factor for heart disease. Which of the following is an essential nutrient for humans? Folate, yes. Glad you remember that one. And all blood leaving the GI tract travels to what organ first? Talked about this numerous times. the researcher nor the subjects know which group is receiving the treatment.
Double blind.
Double blind, right. And the last question, 10. Spina bifida is a type of what? Neural tube defect, critical period of pregnancy, obesity syndrome, or a fetal monitor?
Is that neural tube defect?
It's a neural tube defect. Very good. All right. We have now gone over 240 potential final questions. I want to get 3 more people. Kendra. And then we'll have 15 on Thursday, and that'll be it. Which of the following is an organic nutrient? Again, a little different twist on the same question about organic and inorganic, so you better know them.
Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrate is organic because it has carbon. Behaviors such as smoking, dietary habits, physical habits, and alcohol intake that influence disease are known as what? That's a little bit bigger than what I...
Risk factors.
Yeah, they're risk factors. Risk factors for hypertension, risk factors for heart disease. What passes through the GI tract mostly undigested?
Fiber.
Fiber, yeah. Sign of a similar question. That emphasis there. Which of the following is considered a form of a fiber? Is that your final answer? Starch is what? Just a carbohydrate, and we digest it. Is fiber mostly digested? No.
Polysaccharide.
What's a polysaccharide? It's a type of a sugar or starch that we digest. So that's not the final answer.
Amino acids. Hemicellulose.
Okay. What's an amino acid? What do amino acids make up when they're linked together? Yeah, and do we digest proteins? Yeah, so see, just put 2 and 2 together. So even if you didn't know what a hemicellulose was, you should know what an amino acid, a starch, and a polysaccharide is, so should have, through elimination, figured that one out. The goal of a carbohydrate digestion and absorption is to yield what? When we ultimately digest all our carbs and we absorb them, they turn into what? Glucose, right. Which of the following is not a class of lipids? There are 3 classes of lipids. One of them up there is not a class of lipids.
Cellulose.
Yes, cellulose. Cellulose is a type of fiber. Saturated fatty acids. Again, similar question about fatty acids, structured a little differently. Is that your final answer? Again, saturated. Is that your final answer? I know it's hard when you get up there, but saturated means what? No double bonds. No double bond. 1 double bond would be monounsaturated. 2 or more double bonds would be what? Polyunsaturated. The polyunsaturated are liquid at room temperature, but if they're saturated, they have no double bonds. Protein structures esters always contain a side group of what? This is very similar to a couple other questions we've had.
Can I use a lifeline?
You could use a lifeline. This is question 8. You want to ask the audience?
Yeah.
How many say glucose? How many say glycerol? How many say nitrogen? We got 3 or 4 say nitrogen. Anybody say amino acids? 3 or 4. Okay, proteins. They always have
Nitrogen.
nitrogen. It's got to be nitrogen, guys. Proteins always contain nitrogen. They don't. A protein is an amino acid, so they don't have a side group of amino acids. Don't feel bad. Nobody knew that. Okay. Although I thought it was pretty easy. If an essential amino acid is missing from the diet, cells must do what?
Synthesize it in glucose?
Is that your final answer?
What question number is that?
This is number 9.
Oh, can I use a lifeline?
Yeah? You want to ask an expert?
Yeah.
Who's the expert in here that knows what, if you don't have an essential amino acid, what do you do? What does your body do?
Break down protein.
Yeah, it breaks down other body proteins in order to get it. Glucose makes carbohydrates, not proteins. All right, question 10, so one more lifeline. Metabolism that takes place in the absence of oxygen is, if you don't have oxygen, what's it called? Anaerobic. She's right. Good job. Hannah?
Professor Owens, can you, whenever you put them up, will you scoot it over a little bit?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it out of that shiny light. Which of the following nutrients is organic? Yes. Huh? Inorganic. Which of the following nutrients is inorganic? Right.
Doesn't contain carbon?
Right. Water is correct. H2O. The muscular contractions of the GI tract are called
Period.
yep,
That.
peristalsis.
Yeah.
Peristalsis. Not quite as cute as epiglottis, but kind of cute. Which nutrients leave the GI tract by way of the lymphatic system? Remember, nutrients either leave via the bloodstream or the lymphatic system. Which ones leave via the lymphatic system?
So fat ones, they leave through the blood, right?
What?
The blood. Like fats go through the liver, right? I don't know this one.
Okay, this is question 3. You want to use a lifeline?
Sure.
Okay, how many say water and minerals? How many say proteins and minerals? How many say all vitamins and minerals? How many say fat and fat-soluble vitamins? Fats and fat-soluble vitamins leave through the lymphatic system.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You knew that. What organ secretes insulin?
The pancreas.
Pancreas, right. The enzyme that breaks a disaccharide into glucose and galactose is?
Amylase?
Is that the final answer?
I guess not.
What happens when you put galactose and glucose together? What does it make? And then it's the opposite. Then that's the same word, only it's ASE, which is what breaks it down. See what's circled up there?
Oh, lactate.
Yes, lactase is the one that breaks down glucose and galactose, make lactose, and that lactase breaks it down. Which of the following is a class of lipids? We've already had a similar question to this. Sterols, right. Triglycerides, phospholipids, and sterols are the three classifications of fat. Which of the following is not true? Lecithin is talked about lecithin and how a lot of health food stores tell you you need to have it, but you
It's
don't.
not true about it,
It's not true.
and a health food store says you really don't.
Right.
So it's not an essential nutrient.
Right. Lecithin is not an essential nutrient. It's a type of lipoprotein. Vegetarians must be careful to provide each day. They have to provide what?
All essential amino acids.
All essential amino acids, right. But can't make proteins without them. Which of the following foods provides the highest quality protein? Eggs is right. Eggs is the best source of protein. All the other proteins are done against eggs. The body disposes of excess nitrogen by making urea. That was 10. You're done. Yay. And Sarah Vicus, last one today, and then we'll have the other 15 to. So the rest of you guys, you ready? Which one of those nutrients yields energy? Energy synonymous with calories. Does niacin is a vitamin B. Does your vitamins have calories?
I was testing you.
Yeah. So the answer is? Yes, fats. Which nutrients have calories, guys? There's 3 of them. Proteins, carbs, and fats. They're the only ones that have energy or calories. Which of the nutrients enters the bloodstream directly? Which one of those enters the bloodstream directly?
Fat soluble vitamins.
What was the question that Hannah just answered? She answered one that went into the lymph system. And the answer was what?
Fats, okay.
Fats and fat soluble vitamins. So this one says which one enters the bloodstream? Carbs, yes, carbohydrates. Gotta listen, guys. Gastrin, now that was an easy one. This is a little hard one. Gastrin, secretin, and cholecystokinin are examples of Crips are part of the GI tract. No, they're not cells.
Hormones.
Let's try enzymes as well, okay? Okay, question 4. What organ makes bile?
Liver.
The liver. Yes, the liver makes bile, and where is it stored?
Gallbladder.
Gallbladder. The enzyme that breaks a disaccharide into glucose and fructose is? It's sucrase, because fructose and glucose put together make sucrose or table sugar, and sucrase is the enzyme that breaks them down. Okay, saturated fats have, is the third or fourth
No
question
double
on this same thing. No double bonds. You're listening. Very good. Question 7. Transport vehicles for lipids or fats are called what? Lipoproteins or lipoproteins, depending on what you want to say. Not eating enough calories or proteins is termed what? PEM, BEE, REE, or LDL?
Lifeline.
Okay. Not eating enough calories or protein is termed, how many say PEM? How many say BEE? What's BEE? Basal energy expenditure. What's REE? I say REE. I made that one up. I don't know what that is. It's probably resting energy expenditure. LDL? It's PEM, protein energy malnutrition.
Wow.
Okay, protein energy malnutrition. It's PEM.
Did we go over that?
We talked about PEM, but it was in chapter 8. Protein energy malnutrition. Marasmus develops from, we've had this question once before. Inadequate protein and energy intake. We didn't go over that real quick. And number 10, giving you a break, Miss Sarah.
Here you are.
Developing during a fast, what happens to your body's metabolism?
Slows down.
It slows down. Good. We're done for